Thousands of migrants continued to cross the Rio Grande today from Mexico into Texas.
And the main push is happening around Eagle Pass with nearly 10,000 crossings in just the past 24 hours. Today, the U.S. Department of Defense announced it's deploying about 800 military personnel to help support Border Patrol agents, as well as state troopers and Texas National Guard members.
Fox 7 Austin's chief political reporter Rudy Koski joins us in studio with a look at what's being done to address the surge of migrants at our southern border. Rudy.
Carissa and Rebecca, the numbers that we're seeing are the largest that we've seen in nearly 2 years. They're simply being overwhelmed down there. Officials with the Border Patrol Union today saying more than 100,000 migrants have crossed illegally and been released into the country since the 1st of September. That's enough people to fill every seat at DKR Stadium right here in Austin. The deployment of military personnel is only for 90 days to help fill gaps. More than 3,000 migrants crossing yesterday in Eagle Pass, up from 2,700 Tuesday, and a new influx starting to cross there early this morning. The mayor of Eagle Pass has declared an emergency, and last night the city council there voted to allow DPS to start making trespass arrests at a park where migrants have been gathering, rescinding a previous action that had kicked DPS out of the park. Now, we're told that many of those in this new migrant surge are from Venezuela. In El Paso, an emergency overflow shelter is being opened, which may eventually include a vacant middle school. DPS spokesperson Lieutenant Chris Oliveras talked to me by Zoom about this crisis situation on the border.
It's become challenging for us as a state agency because now we're having to pull resources to support Border Patrol as they process these large groups that are coming across.
I'm seeing the images come across and people are like saying up here, why isn't DPS just saying no and pushing people back? You can't do that, right?
Well, that's one of the misconceptions that people don't really seem to understand, is that it's not that easy to say, well, we're going to stand at the river and push people back. Obviously, we cannot do that, especially with women and children. Now, one thing to understand, of course, and for the viewers, that once people cross midway that river, technically they're already in the United States. And by federal law, Border Patrol has to process them.
I was watching some of the video that was posted up, but it showed Border Patrol agents cutting the razor wire that DPS has put down. It seems like, once again, one hand is doing one thing and the other hand is doing something totally different. How do you manage that? Can you manage that?
Well, that's a challenge right there, of course, when we see images of Border Patrol agents cutting the razor wire that we placed as a state in order to deter illegal border crossings. So that completely undermines what we're trying to do and prevent illegal border crossings. But again, the field agents, they're doing great work. And we understand that they're getting their orders from their high-ranking officials in Washington.
Is the only tool that you have, other than the razor wire, other than the barricades, is just arresting for trespassing? Is that the only tool that DPS has right now?
I mean, as of right now, it is an effective deterrent measure, right, when we're able to arrest, because it sends a message back to those that are trying to cross unlawfully, is that if you do cross, you will be arrested by state police.
Bottom line, you can't stop it today, can you?
That's the frustrating part, at the state level. We're doing as much as we can, trying to prevent and trying to use every tool that we have within our power as a state to try to prevent some of these unlawful crossings, and also focus on criminal activity that's taking place along the border and also outside around other surrounding areas and border communities.
An example of that criminal activity, take a look, was posted today on social media by Lieutenant Oliveras. The picture is of 49 migrants who were found Tuesday locked up in the back of a poorly ventilated truck trailer near Laredo. Now, new DPS truck inspections, they're now being done at key border crossings. And that razor wire cut by Border Patrol, well, that was replaced today. At least 2 drownings were reported this week in the Rio Grande, a 3-year-old boy yesterday, and the body of a man was pulled from the river this morning.